everyone. I'm going to tell you about my adventures in dot journaling. I first learned about dot journaling not too long ago after reading a book on Kindle Unlimited called Dot Journaling. It had a very long title, but it was by an author named Rachel Wilkerson Miller. And it was a very nice intro into it, gave different ideas for charts. So I really liked the idea, so I started my own dot journal. If you don't know what a dot journal is, it's also called a bullet journal. Essentially, it's like a diary, but it also includes a lot of other kind of mundane things that most people probably would never put in a diary. It's kind of like a planner. It can be anything you actually want it to be. You can make it a food journal. Some people, it's very popular to do mood trackers. Some people track their pain. They do to-do list. And you're saying, well, why would you do that? Who cares? But, it actually, your diary, how often are you actually very good about writing everything that's going on in your life? Most of us only put major things in our diaries. But, so, the advantage to a dot journal is that it might give a much more bigger picture of your life, and that's good for you because you might start realizing maybe there's something you need to change in your life and all that. But let's say you write in your diary, you say, I'm always tired and I just feel like I never get anything done. I don't know why. Well, if you have a calendar, you could see that you overbook yourself, or maybe if you track your sleep, you'll find that you're only getting 3 hours of sleep a day, So that's how it can be useful. Now, some people, when they first start out dot journaling, they like to start out fancy. I didn't do that. I just used a regular school notebook. I made some stickers to put on the front of it. I just used regular pens and colored pencils later. I don't, some people, they're very artistic. They use rulers and, they've got special papers so that, if you make a mistake, you can cover things over. I'm not really that, strict about it. When I did first start, I did really intend to be a little more artistic with it. This is my first mood tracker. But, as you can see, I don't really worry about making mistakes. I just leave them. I didn't really do a lot of fancy things with my journal. I just, mainly with me, I want to track my activities. What I started realizing, though, is that my first journal was going to be kind of like a test run, where, I would try things and then I don't know, it just didn't quite work for me, they tell you not to tear out pages or anything, With me, though, sometimes I have a tendency to cross things out. But as you can see, it's not usually really fancy. Don't really care if my lines are not straight. I kind of joked with my bullet journal group, I live dangerously. I write in my bullet journal in pen first, in pen. I don't use pencil first. I write in pen, and, I don't use rulers, I just, I scratch things out. I'm just not too concerned about appearance most of the time, So this is what my daily journal usually looks like. And sometimes I do quick little doodles, not the best of my artwork, This was a joke about how a chicken from Whole Foods looked like it came from Jurassic Park, and I showed it fighting a dinosaur, and this was a joke about how I feel that my boobs have a gravitational force because all the food I eat seems to always wind up all over my shirts, So, and so I drew pictures of my boobs with a chocolate, attracting a chocolate bar to them. So, that's how my journal mostly is. Now, this has worked out really well for me. This is my new type of mood tracker. And I like to track my moons morning, noon, and night. And I have a keyway in the beginning that tells what all the colors mean. And, and then I can also write, and then I have spaces here where I can write, things that might be contributing to my mood and all that. So while I'm still using my first journal, I decided to make a nicer second journal for the things that have worked out for me. And in this journal, I'm trying to be a little neater and to be a little more artistic. So here you see my savings plan. I did it with a Candyland style, and and I have my goal, and this is the amount of money I might deposit into my account, and then I've left some blank areas for custom amounts. And when if I deposit a certain amount, then I color it in. And as I said, I like to track my activities. As you can see, I'm not still that worried about scribbling things out. And it's a little more artistic, but not, a big thing. My bullet journal is mainly used to track the things that are important to me, like, my activities. And as you can see, I have a lot of dolls. This doesn't even represent my full collection. This is just one, the dolls that are on one cabinet. So to keep track of everybody, I made this list. I haven't started this yet, but this is a measurement tracker to keep track of my weight and body size and different parts of bust, waist, hip, left bicep, right tricep, left thigh, left calf, right calf. I also have a lot of board games because I really like board games, and so I keep track of them, which ones I've played, because sometimes I've played and I go into a cabinet and I'm like, oh wow, I haven't played that game in a long time, so that's why I have this. This is my classical book reading list. This is my period tracker. I'm a regular, so I like to keep an idea of, when I have them. And I'm in my 40s now, so I'm expecting to go through menopause every day, any day now. I have a Harry Potter cookbook, and I wanted to start trying the recipes. I came up with this design. I'm pretty proud of it, too. Where I list the name of the recipe, the page it'll be found on, and then a rating, which is yum, yuck, or redo. And then I have notes, which is more important for things like if I want to redo them. So this is the dessert section. I've got a breakfast and bread section. And then I've got a dinner section. I haven't written all the recipe down because some of them are pretty disgusting. They have stuff made with, pig's hearts or something, and some I don't even know where to find it, And then there's some things like they have like peanut brittle, but I have very sensitive teeth, so I don't want to eat that. But I have most of the recipes here. And then I have study reviews. I've been very embarrassed by the fact that I don't know geography, so I've decided to do something about that. So this is part of the United States, and Right now I'm doing the states and their capitals. And then over here, I have little flashcards that I've taped into the thing. My camera keeps blurring. And then a little checklist, and I'm planning on actually kind of doing like a Clue type thing, the Clue board game, where I'll put they have symbols, that's why they have symbols. I'll take 3 cards out with the same symbol, put them aside, and then play a game where I get clues of whether the state shape, their capitals, or the state name, and then I figure out where I was planning on this thing where I have this evil baby that's trying to take over the world, and the FBI kids are trying to find out where her secret lair is, so I was planning on doing it like that. I'm also learning Spanish, so I have my vocabulary list here, and then I folded the paper in half, and then the answers are on the other side, like so. And then, of course, at the very end, we have the index, which lets me find things quickly. I start out like on the end page, and then I jump over, as it goes on. So the index it kind of, I think it's how the Asians read a lot of times, where they start at the back and they go that way. So that's how my index is going. So I hope you've enjoyed my dot journal. And it's a very fun activity, and there's a lot of nice groups on Facebook, and you can look on Pinterest for ideas, and it's really nice, and I highly recommend it. So thank you for watching my video, and stay tuned for more videos.